Hello, welcome to the build guide for the Krogan Vanguard. This is going to be one of your classic Vanguard archetypes, going to be melee based, going to be charging around, headbutting stuff, and we are going to be maxing out rage. This is, I think, my first build I've posted that actually does take rage, so um, the basic stuff, since this is a melee build, we're going to be putting our points in. Oh no, I just posted the engineer that has it. That's why it seems familiar. Anyways, we're going to be taking the melee variants this time. So 25% melee damage, and you're going to have that at all times. And then the second one, the 25% melee damage when enraged, that's going to be a second one when rage is active. So two different bonuses there. Gonna skip out on the health and shields this time. Rank 5, we're going to be getting health and shield regeneration through other means. Well, actually, more so shields, not health, but whatever. For this one, we're going to take the melee anyways. This buff is a pain in the ass to keep up, in my opinion. I don't really like it very much, but it does fit the theme of the build, and it will help when it is active, so might as well have it. And then rank 6, taking Berserker, because that's going to boost our melee damage. It's going to automatically trigger rage if for some reason we don't have it up. It's going to make rage last longer, and it's going to take fewer melee kills to activate when we activate it, aside from the health threshold. Inspirational, not really going to fit the theme of this build, so we don't need it. Apex training, passive tree that I really like, actually. um, in rank 4, we're going to take the power damage. We're not going to be really relying on our weapon much at all for damage in this build. We're going to use it, but it's not going to be the focus by any means. But we are going to be charging all the time and using Nova pretty frequently, so might as well take this to boost both of those. For rank 5, this is going to make it so if we are shooting stuff with our weapon and we manage to get headshots or weak points, we will do a little bit more damage. It's not really going to be the best ability, I guess, for this class, but honestly, this is even less useful. So we don't need to hover and we don't need accuracy while airborne. So I guess we can hover, but it's not something you want to do. So just whatever, skip it. Rank 6, weapon specialist versus power specialist. Power specialist is really good. I really like that passive. It's going to boost power damage, power force, and the recharge speed is the big thing I like. So just having that to all of your abilities is pretty nice. We're going to jump up to the top here for charge. Another fairly basic setup. For rank 4, if you want to go for damage and force or radius, the choice is really up to you. They're both effective for different things. This is the first build that I've really been playing around with radius much on. It is kind of fun. And since charge is just a secondary source of damage for us anyways, as opposed to like a primary source, like you could go either way. So rank 5, we are melee class, so take the one that's going to boost our melee. Power damage and force is secondary to melee, so yeah, not really much of a tough choice there. And then rank 6, I've been playing around with both of these. I kind of wanted to make Shock Trooper work for this build, but in all honesty, in every situation, Bastion is just going to outperform it. You're not going to recharge as fast, but it is going to deal more damage. It's going to restore double the amount of shields, and it's going to give you a damage resistance buff for 5 seconds. And that damage resistance buff is pretty significant. Like, you can totally tell the difference between having it and not having it, and as well as the 50% shields. Like, that's not anything to sneeze at either. So, for Fortify, since we're going to be charging around, and that's going to be a big source of our mobility, I feel like we can skip out on reducing the movement penalty from Fortify here. Just take a little bit of extra damage resistance. And then rank 5, similarly, since we are going to be charging everywhere and regenerating our shields each time, we don't really need to have a shield regen bonus. So let's take the melee damage bonus. And then in rank 6, I really, unmoving defense, we'll just say right away, is going to be useless. So Explosive Purge, I really did want to be using on this build. That was what I had initially like set as my goal to do was to incorporate that into the play style. But with power armor, since you're getting 30% melee damage as well as extra damage resistance, if you're going to be purging, you're going to lose your Fortify and you're going to have to recast it. And losing both of those things is a little too much for what you gain from it. So unfortunately, I had to skip Explosive Purge, and I just put those extra points in Nova to give it a little bit bigger radius and some more damage and force. It would have been really nice to have Explosive Purge, so I guess if you want to, go ahead and use it. I just felt like it wasn't worth losing both of those things. I know on my Mercenary guide I use Explosive Purge and love it, and I think on my Soldier I did too. But that's because you're not losing as much when you cast it versus being a melee class and taking power armor. I feel like that's more significant than losing shield feedback, which I took on those other cases. So that's that. That's the reasoning there. The way you're going to play is basically just charge to a target to get your damage buff from charge up. You're going to want to melee during that time period, and it's also going to boost your gun damage, so feel free to weave in shots from your scatter shot, my weapon of choice for any Vanguard class, as well as the Juggernaut shield. We'll just quickly say two boosters. You're going to want to take a melee damage mod for sure, and then for my second one, I actually have been kind of really liking just a Biotic Power Amp, so it kind of just helps your charge and your Nova deal more damage over the course of a round, and I feel like it does add up, so that's what I've been doing there. But yeah, you just charge between targets, melee. When I pick a target, I try and look for one in the center of a group because I've got charge set to radius, and then I'll also throw out my Nova right away to hit everything around me. The damage resistance you get from charge, as well as Fortify, and the additional... what do you get from Rage on this one? Yeah, you don't get regeneration. So you're not really gaining anything defensively, actually, from Rage on this one. It's more like a damage buff. But either way, you're still going to be really tanky, and you're going to kill things reasonably fast. So there's a gameplay video that I'll have linked in the description. Definitely check it out if you want to see it in action. But it's a fairly straightforward class, and pretty easy to pick up and play. So, oh, I guess while leveling, what I did was... I actually skipped martial arts, I think, and I took regeneration so that I could get some health regeneration boost from that. And I did charge and apex training right away, and then fortify, and then those points in Nova at the end. Getting charged to max rank is going to make a huge difference when you're leveling. Fortify power armor is actually a really good thing to work towards too. I kind of flip-flopped between those and apex training for a while. But yeah, charge is going to be the biggest thing, charge and rage. So yeah, I think that's about everything. Thanks for watching.